For what values of k will 3x squared minus 2x plus k have no real solution? Alright, so let's try to understand this by applying the quadratic formula and think about what it means. So quadratic formula is negative of 2. It has a k, but don't be so afraid. This means a is 3, b is negative 2, and c is k. So you can just apply the quadratic formula as it is. B squared minus 4 times a times c, but c is k, so you put k there, and 2 times 3 is in the bottom. Now at first you might think, well, we always have a solution. I can write down a solution. So what does this question mean? But then when you see this word real, you realize, well, square root, well, you might not know this, but you're not allowed to have a negative inside the square root, and there's something called an imaginary number. If there's a minus, you call this an imaginary number. That's not a number that we can use to measure things. It's not a real value. So if you are more interested in this, you can look up imaginary numbers, complex numbers. But anyways, for this number to be an actual number, the square root, what's inside the square root, must be 0 or positive. So if it doesn't have a real solution, what that means is that this thing 4 times 3 is 12, 4 minus 12k is less than 0. Okay. By the way, this thing here comes from b squared minus 4ac, right? And you may realize that we didn't have to write down the entire quadratic formula, because all it mattered is that if b squared minus 4ac, which we give this name discriminant, and if the discriminant is negative, then the equation doesn't have a real solution. If it's 0, it will have one real solution, which is like a double root. And if this is positive, then you're going to have 2 solutions, because there's a plus and minus of this positive value. So so we are really saying that the discriminant has to be less than 0 in order for this to not have a real solution. And that means 4 has to be less than 12k. 4 has to be less than 12k, and that says k is bigger than 4 over 12, which is 1/3.